This past weekend, Coachella kicked off music festival season with huge names like Lady Gaga. We all saw the epic clips. Charlie XCX, Green Day, Travis Scott, and Post Malone.
And even though weekend one is known as like the star-studded weekend when all the celebrities and influencers go, we were all, of course, bombarded with cool like desert Coachella pictures all weekend. This festival was kind of a chaotic mess from the moment it started.
Coachella, what the hell are you doing? We have been stuck in line for nearly 10 hours. It's 100 degrees outside. People's cars are overheating. They're running out of gas. And another woman literally got hit by a car because she was trying to block them from cutting in front of her.
We can't drink water. We can't go pee. They won't let us into any of the restrooms. No bathrooms except for the staff, and the staff won't let us in. Apparently people ahead of us were shitting in the bushes.
Chaos at Coachella as the journey to the iconic music festival's campgrounds turned into a parking lot.
We still haven't heard from organizers, so we don't know what went wrong and if they're going to fix it or not.
And even though 125,000 people went last weekend, and it's the most famous North American music festival of all, this year's ticket sales were sluggish, and last year didn't even sell out, which was the first time in its 25-year history.
And Coachella isn't alone. Other huge festivals like Burning Man didn't sell out last year, and 50 entire festivals were canceled across the US. NPR actually called 2024 the year the music festival industry died.
And of the ones that did happen, ticket sales were down 15%, and there's so many reasons for this decline. Like, one thing is, of course, the inflation prices. Organizers say their costs have doubled just in the past few years. So renting toilets for a festival in 2021 cost only $36,000. Now it's $71,000. So obviously those costs have to be passed on to the consumers in the ticket prices. So last year, Glastonbury tickets, for example, cost 43% more than pre-pandemic prices.
And then there's a huge shift in the culture in the past few years that have made music festivals less popular, like Gen Z social trends, streaming culture, even the rise of super fans. Like, people are so willing to fly across the world and like give up their firstborns to see Beyonce or Taylor Swift in concert, and then they're not saving up enough to go to these music festivals.
I would do that for Taylor Swift. So as festival season gets underway, and we'll soon have Lollapalooza and Stagecoach and Bonnaroo and Summerfest, which is actually the biggest music festival in North America, we spoke to Glenn McDonald, who was a data alchemist at Spotify for 10 years and authored the book You Have Not Yet Heard Your Favorite Song, about how the landscape of music is changing. What big shifts in music consumption have you witnessed as we've entered this digital era?
I think personalization is the most obvious change, but the background change behind all of that is just that all the world's music is available, but not yet accessible to most people. Like, you can get to anything in 2 clicks, but you have to know which clicks they are. So we've made a lot of progress in what's possible, but not as much progress in what most people actually experience. If you're willing to do a lot of work, you can get a lot farther in the world of music than you could when, say, I was 16 and I had to ride my bike to the record store and like pick up these pieces of cardboard and wonder what was inside of them.
So bringing that to kind of our story, which is about music festivals, with that lens, they're kind of more important than ever because they're obviously like a curated lineup of bands and music. So how do you think streaming platforms have affected people wanting to experience music in that kind of way?
I mean, there's a bunch of dynamics at work at once. The most promising one for live music is we've sort of commodified recorded music in a way that makes live music sort of much more special. When I was a kid, my money could go to records or concerts, and a concert was like 2 or 3 records, and the records I would have forever. So that was a pretty hard decision to make. Now, basically, the music it's not free, but I'm gonna pay $10 a month. So once I paid that, like, there's no incremental cost.
The last time we talked about concerts on the show, we were talking about Taylor Swift's Eras tour. She was breaking every record, selling out in 2 minutes. There was people clearly so motivated to spend as much as needed to go see her. And we were wondering if streaming culture has really fueled super fans, because you can kind of live in this echo chamber that kind of like deeper entrenches you into this fandom culture.
There are a few artists who are big enough to have a community just to themselves. If that's possible for you as an artist, then that's amazing, because it's a whole lot easier to marshal a community around one artist than it is around a bunch of artists, streaming provides all the ways for that audience to focus. We should make it possible for artists who aren't Taylor Swift and who do like have to go away for 3 years to make an album and then come back and try to tour and have to be like, where are my fans? Have they forgotten about me? One of streaming's functions ought to be sustain those communities.
Yeah, we had read somewhere that like algorithms when it comes to like streaming have kind of confused people when they're going to see music festivals. Like the lineups can confuse people because everyone's kind of just used to like their music coming up. Do you agree with that statement? Like, what do you think about how our expectations of music have changed because we have access to this?
An algorithmically mediated experience changes what you think the world consists of.
Yeah.
Like even though you're sort of aware that these are things being fed to me and not everybody, still like you're seeing and hearing what you're seeing and hearing. And so a band that you didn't pick that just keeps showing up on your Discover Weekly or Release Radar week after week, it's natural to sort of assume, oh, everybody must be getting this band all the time. So everybody must be aware of them. You can still, I think, do large festivals as long as you have some anchor in what, is that a community? Are you addressing a community? Does that community have a set of things that they like? Or are you just pulling a bunch of random people into a field and playing them random music?
Do you think we're going to see more niche festivals be more successful versus the broad ones that bring in like a ton of eclectic genres? Was that like what your prediction would be?
That would make sense. I mean, I think there's a bunch of other dynamics going on, COVID and the economy and the explosion of festivals. And a festival could succeed for other reasons. The experience is really good. It's like easy to get to. The food is like, there's a bunch of things that would cause people to have a really good experience at a festival and want to come back, even if the lineup is not like perfectly tailored to them. But in general, I think if I were trying to mount festivals, I would be trying to mount like very focused festivals.
And does having access at your fingertips at all time to music, do you think de-incentivize people to want to go find live music? Or like, let's take Coachella, obviously just happened last weekend, and we could sit at home and watch Gaga's performance. We didn't have to go there.
I think it helps people focus that the thing about the live experience is that you're experiencing with other people. It's not just seeing the stage show. Now you can hear those songs, however, but you don't get to hear them with other people. And you can share that experience because you all have the joy of discovery at once.